Your daily afternoon excess with Tommy O.
It's your daily afternoon excess. You're here with Tommy Rocket, and in studio today for my very first guest, it's virgin territory.
Yeah.
Bryce, Mileto, Lipz.
What's up? What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm just finally stoked that you're here.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to be here. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Thanks, man.
Sure.
I appreciate you coming in, and like I asked you maybe a year ago.
Yeah, it was about a year ago. I remember you said you were going to start kicking this off, and no, it's so cool. You got it up and running. It's killer. It's awesome.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I've got a few things to say really quickly before we jump straight into it. It's mass fucking hysteria.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
The world's going fucking crazy. It's insane. Like, I don't know what to believe sometimes. Like, it's scary at the same time, but then it's like, it's pretty brutal. But, yeah.
It's such a weird time to be alive.
It is. Yeah. It's nuts. Like, yeah. You're on the freeway and you're like, yeah, not many cars around. You're in the street, not many people around. Yeah, so it's crazy.
It's fucking weird. But
yeah.
It's a good day to be alive.
Hey!
For those who don't know what that is, it's a song by this man right here.
Hey. Go check it out.
Go check it out. If you do want to check it out and you want to buy any stuff, like merch, albums, anything like that, you can go to www.sistersdollband.com or Facebook.com/sistersdoll to get hooked in, get connected.
Ah, killer. Thanks, man.
No
Awesome.
worries, bro. All good. So, amidst the mass hysteria that's going on everywhere around the world, because we don't want to feed too much into the hate and the fear that everyone's experiencing, we're here to lift people up.
That's it.
You know, and music does that. And what better way than to have someone who's a fantastic musician here and also a really good mate.
Oh, thanks, man.
No worries.
Same goes.
Mutual love.
Yeah, that's it.
I've known you for a few years.
Yeah, I think ever since we moved to Melbourne, almost like it was around, we'd moved and we'd been gigging around for a bit, but then it was like a year and a bit and stuff, and we kind of, I remember seeing you guys play Scarlet and stuff, and then we kind of did some gigs together and then that's how it snowballed. The music circle, that's what I love, like it's so small, you know, like it's great, you know, like you make lifelong friends and
yeah, absolutely. Meet people that you know, circles that are apart sometimes, and you have a mutual band that, like, that's how I think we met at the Peter Hoffman or whatever it was management showcase thing.
Yeah. It was, I think it was. Yeah.
It was like Eddie's Pool Room, wasn't it?
Eddie's Pool Room. Yeah.
That was like 2014.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was us, you, and Dangerous Curves.
Dangerous Curves as well. Yeah.
And I remember we played your drum set, and
your cymbals
were fucking up here, and I'm not a tall guy, and you're quite tall, so I remember jumping just to rip stuff. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, I had the huge setup that night. I remember, like, it was my old Pearl kit. Yeah, and I used to have my cymbals really high, and I used to the point though, even when we first started, they were too high. Like, I was like, just did it because I thought it looked cool, and then now these days. Yeah, it was like, it was crazy. These days, I've lowered them a bit, but yeah.
Nah, your setup's pretty cool, man. You got a see-through acrylic Ludwig kit.
Yeah. It's pretty badass. I was lucky when I got the endorsement and stuff through Ludwig. And yeah, they were like, "What kind of kit do you want?" And they saw old footage of me of, you know, I kind of just had the 2 rack toms and then the 2 floors, just a standard setup or whatever. And I really wanted to change it up and go with the big, like the floor toms and the big kick drums and do something different. And yeah, through my influences, obviously, but yeah.
Which are? Let's run through them. Who influenced you to start music, and who are your drumming influences?
Yeah, definitely I'd have to start Peter Criss from Kiss when I was a kid, and then that story snowballs on, which is just, fucking insane. But
which we'll touch on later.
Yeah, but literally he's just been my dream. Like, if I could, that's who I want to be when I grow up. And then it eventuated to Eric Singer, Eric Carl, the drummers of Kiss, just a huge Kiss fan. And then Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, he's a huge influence on me, like his drumming style. And and that kind of thing, and so many other drummers that influencing me more. That just growing up, like listening to Travis Barker and fucking just everyone, like even some new school drummers. Like there's this band Machine Gun Kelly, and as you know probably, and the drummer his name's Rook. Have you checked him out?
I have not.
He's a great drummer, as well. Like these kind of instead of like going back to older sort of drummers, like just listening to newer kind of stuff and that, and
which is a good thing, because sometimes people are stuck in the past.
Definitely. You
know, and music's always moving forward. It's a progression of time, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very healthy to be taking on new stuff, because if people only listen to old school music and don't move forward, nothing's going to happen. And
I know, exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, there's still people out there flying the flag for rock. So everyone who says rock's dead, it's fucking not.
Yeah, they're fucking dead.
Dead inside. So I really wanted to know that. I knew that about Kiss and Crew and stuff, but it's interesting that, you know, the modern stuff too. Yeah, definitely modern stuff. And I mean, that drummer, on All Machine Gun Kelly's, he's actually bringing out a rock album next year. But over the years, he's been known for that rap artist, like he's a rap artist. And it's so interesting hearing that sort of music, and because they've always got a backbeat to it. There's drums in music today, like without a drum beat, there's no... music's dead without it. So, you can really come up with and hear different sort of styles and things, and it's interesting, man. It's all like, it's stuff that feeds each other to build a new thing. You know? The old school meets the new school. Here we go. That's right. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and you can kind of because people do get stuck sometimes. They're like, I love that music and I love that style, which is awesome. But I think sometimes it's cool to broaden your horizons in your head or whatever, and kind of listen to different things to keep it fresh. And Sure. Probably makes you a better musician stuff too. It does, yeah. You hear different things, and over the years, a band that I'm in now, we've done a bunch of cover gigs and that sort of thing. And recently we did this cover gig, and we threw in a Bruno Mars cover. And I'm like, okay, this isn't my style really, but then when you get behind the kit, you're like, fuck, this dude's like, he's doing some cool shit, you know, and then you can add different stuff, and but. Sick. Well, you're originally from Collie, which is in Western Australia. Yep. Family band. Family band, yeah. Was it a musical household, like when you were a kid? Yeah, it was a musical household. Like my dad would, he'd go to gigs and stuff and come home and always have his mates in the back shed jamming and that kind of thing. And does he play? My dad plays drums, yeah. Oh, good choice. That's where that's where I get it from, I guess. But the whole family, us three brothers, we played drums. And actually, before the band started, Brennan was in a band before Sisters Doll, and he actually played drums too. Really? He was the drummer, yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. Does that create friction, like he tells you you're doing it wrong or something like that? Not really, but he definitely has more of an opinion as well, because he's has played drums and that kind of thing as well. Sure. And has that drummer ear, I guess, and don't do that there, or that kind of thing as well. So yeah. Which is kind of cool in a way, because you can all chip in at ideas and that sort of thing, I guess. But sure. But yeah, so he was in a band, and then he was playing drums, and we all grew up playing drums. I don't know, just being, you figure out your talents, who's better at what or whatever as you're growing up. And I don't know, I took to drums. I wasn't really interested in guitar and that sort of thing. And Brennan was he was a very showman drummer as well. He used to twirl his sticks, that kind of, in his old band. Cool. And he was like, man, I just want to be at the front. So I think that's why he kind of eventuated to the lead singer type role. Yeah, being the front man in the end, which is, quite interesting, I guess. I'm happy being back there, though. As you'd be the same as well. It's cool. Yeah, but the cool thing about touching on, being a front man but being back there is, I think you're one of the few cases where the drummer is a type of frontman. Yeah. And a lot of people notice that. Yeah. That's my goal. I'm if I'm back there,
you know, yeah. You don't want to see the drummer just kind of like, you know, 4/4 beat.
Fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a fucking passion.
Yeah, got to be doing something like if it's twirling your sticks or, you know, get their attention. Like, yeah.
Drummers who sit there and do this, like,
yeah,
and just tap the song.
The worst.
No.
I know.
Stop.
Quit. Stop doing it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So with your dad doing band and stuff like that, playing drums, and you guys gravitating towards the instruments you did, which for those who don't know, that's Ozzy on bass, you on drums, and Brennan on guitar.
Yeah.
And Ozzy plays guitar sometimes.
He plays
in the live
guitar
shows.
sometimes as well. He's graduated to that. It's as a band we've just been a 3-piece. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I don't know, Brennan, he loves doing the Paul Stanley thing, like throws a guitar back, and then so that's when Ozzy comes in and shreds. And then on our live performance, sometimes we throw in the bass in the backing track for them sort of moments and songs and that kind of thing. But yeah, just graduated to that, I guess, like with our writing and that sort of thing. Like Austin, he can shred. Like he's really just taken to the guitar, which is cool. So
yeah, and he does it well.
He does.
Like from coming to see you guys play, even like a month ago, was it?
Yeah.
Less
about that. Yeah, or maybe a bit less. Yeah. When was it? February, late February. So
before everything was shut down and banned.
Yeah, well, lucky we snuck in there. Like,
I know, man. I'm so glad I came to that. That was probably one of the last shows I saw. That was the last show I saw.
Yeah.
Before this virus stuff happened.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal.
It was a good night, man. Good set. Very tight.
Oh,
I did see the
man.
cymbal fly off the thing at the start.
That was fuck.
Yeah.
The
bullshit. New ones too.
The new fucking cymbals and the little cymbal topper things that I just recently got. I don't think I had it tight enough or something, and then I just went smack, and it all went down. Yeah.
I was like, jeez.
Nothing worse. Like, oh fuck. Especially it was like the first song in nearly, or like
But someone ran out and quickly stuck it back on.
That was good. So
I considered doing it, but then I saw the security guard and I was like, fuck, I want to see the concert and not get thrown out.
You should have jumped up there.
Cool. I got to say, those cymbals, in a quick drum tangent, sounded really good.
Yeah. I was surprised too, because I got approached by him, and
this is a really good brand. Supposedly.
Yeah, straight out of Turkey, like great brand, like, and I was always hesitant because I love Zildjian's. Everyone does. They're like the best brand, drumming cymbal brand. But yeah, unless you're like a Tommy Lee or something, you're never gonna get looked at, I guess, because you're not playing to huge audiences and that sort of thing. So I guess I was just like, okay, I'll give these guys a go. And really surprised. They're cool. They do them big fucking bells like that.
Yeah,
just smash, and because I was hesitant. 'Cause one brand I wanted to go with a cymbal brand that have them big giant bells and cymbals that'll last too, because there's nothing worse when you got to keep going back, crack a cymbal. There's nothing worse. So yeah.
And they're sustaining okay and holding up?
They're sustaining okay, yeah. I had a look at them the other night after, like, it was obviously the first time I used them. And they're pretty good. Like, just a bit of a clean and not too bad. They're pretty durable, though. They're quite thick. And, I think they'll last a long time. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Fingers crossed.
And they projected really well, too.
Yeah.
They cut through, which is really good. And playing hard rock, you want stuff that'll cut through. And, fuck guitars off.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Guitar players get shitty at you and go, what are you doing, man? Turn down.
Yeah.
So what was the point, coming from a musical house when you decided, I guess the three of you had already formed the band, or maybe you want to say how that sort of formed. And then
definitely, yeah.
Part 2 of that is, when did you guys decide or realize, okay, we've got something here that could be more than just a bit of fun at home?
Yeah, no, awesome question. We kind of, it was like, we're in the back shed, and Brennan and his bandmates, they were kind of like at that stage of their life where they were starting to get apprenticeships, making money. They're all in high school. And they had a gig to do, and one of their singers moved to Perth, and Perth to Collie was like, it was a good couple hours, so it was just too hard. Like, he was like, oh, I can't make it, man. Can't do it, blah, blah, blah. And they had this local gig. And then, the singer didn't turn up. The other members did. And they were like, are we playing and stuff? And then in the meantime, me, Brendan, and Austin have been jamming in the back shed. Brendan had a couple of songs that we started just jamming. And then, we just said, fuck it, let's get up there and just fill the spot and stuff. The singer's not here, so let's just get up there and do it. And
sick.
We played, and everyone was like, oh my God, these are actually really cool. And we're like, oh, really? Awesome. And then and then we there was a local band competition, like in this town called Bunbury, which was like 40 minutes away. And then this was like right off the bat, this was like, okay, band competition, fuck it, let's just tighten up our sound. Jump straight in. This was like 2010, late 2010-ish. And then we ended up winning. And it was like, fuck, okay, we've got something that you could, I don't know, it was just that little point of magic, like when we're on stage together, it was like, yeah, we got something special here. You could I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was that little bit of magic that was like, okay, let's go to the next thing, and then leads on to the next thing. So, yeah.
It's like a sensation that comes over you too, isn't it?
It is,
it's
100%.
Like a weird feeling.
Yep.
You know, like you know something when the ingredients are right.
Yeah.
Like, this is working.
Definitely, yeah.
This
and you can tell with people's faces, like, I don't know, like not tooting our own fucking horn or that sort of thing, but like it was, you can kind of just, you get that feeling on stage, as you could relate as well with your bands and stuff. Like you just get that feeling like, yeah, no, we're fucking kicking ass. Like, you know, like you get that, I was born to do this, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know. It's a weird feeling to explain, but yeah, I guess that was a magic feeling that, I reckon every musician when they perform live, that's what they strive to feel, like that kind of passion. And so.
And the thing about that is that's not something, and this is what I think non-musicians don't quite grasp. You don't decide that. Yeah. It's like exactly. You just know it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right, man. Like you feel it in your body yourself, and that's what you live and breathe to do every day. And it's not really a decision to be like, okay, you know what I mean? So I guess if we had have done that competition, if we had have lost, or if we had have got on stage, wasn't feeling it, it probably wouldn't have eventuated. So it's one of them things that like you got to have it in you, like
Absolutely, couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. So when you guys did the Battle of the Bands thing, get that feeling of, okay, we're on track. We've got something that's beautiful, amazing. People are responding to it.
Yeah.
Was that when you guys decided to come here? Or how did that come about?
No, that was very early on with the band, and we're kind of just living in WA, doing our thing, like cover gigs here and there. That competition that we won, we got to go to the studio and record an EP, which was like shitty little EP. Like I
was going to say, I've never seen that.
No, never. I think we sold them for like $5, this little like shitty thing. Like we were just babies in the studio, like I was 15. I think Austin was like 13 at the time. Like we're just so young when we started and just in there. But we could go on into the studio, we're like, fuck, this is awesome. This is so cool. Like just so green and young.
Yep.
And then, so that kind of eventuated to be like, all right, let's take it to the next level. And
And so you guys just worked around Collie and Western Australia doing cover shows and stuff?
Pretty much, yeah. It got to 2011, 2012, and then we got some management on board. People were like, you guys are really good, started picking up a bit of attraction and that sort of thing, started getting a bit of radio play, like country radio towns.
Cool.
And then
which is exciting when it happens.
Oh, it's so
if
cool.
It's never happened before.
You hear it in the car and you're like, what? This is crazy. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we started putting on our own shows. We got some schools on board.
Cool.
Some high schools,
like
primary schools.
Gyms?
Yeah, pretty much like playing their high school gyms and doing the whole thing. Like we like to try and do the big drum riser show look. Like we had like two like white like fold out table things. We like fucking gav taped them together
so they wouldn't fall apart.
No, slap some carpet on top, and I'm there like rocking the whole fucking show. Like,
OHS.
Yeah. To try and make it look cool, like a big stadium show for these like younger kids and that sort of thing. So that was pretty cool, and I guess that they told their friends, it started to grow a bit, and they started coming to the shows wearing like top hats and fucking like makeup and that. And we're like, what have we done? We've created something really cool. But,
you even get kids dressing up like you for Halloween.
Yeah, I know, that's insane. Like, what?
That's cool, man.
That's insane, hey? Like, yeah.
Because that's, when you don't even know who that person is and they do that, it's like, wow, I'm something else now.
It's crazy because when I was at kids' age, like, I wanted to dress up as Peter Criss from Kiss and that sort of thing. And, and you're just so humble because, someone at my level, we've done some cool stuff and that sort of thing, but it's not like I'm a Peter Criss or something. But to that kid, to look up to you like that, it's heartwarming. Like, it's really cool. Like, yeah.
Definitely something that you can put in the books to say, we've achieved that, and someone has responded to that degree where he wants to be me.
Yeah.
Which is a very flattering thing.
Yeah.
So after you guys were doing the the high school shows and stuff like that, I assume that leads up to the timeline of when you got to Melbourne or decided to leave and come here.
Yeah, pretty much really close, like, because we started doing that, and then when we had management, we ended up going to America. We did a quick, like, little 2-week stint. We got to play the Whiskey, which was freaking insane, and then, like, the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood. And this is 2012, so I'm, like, 17 at the time, and, we're still super young, but just out there trying to do it. We did a couple of gigs in Sydney and Wollongong or something, just to try and get out there, see how we go with traveling, and do we really want to, keep pushing it. And then 2013, 14, it was probably 2014 we ended up, coming over to Melbourne. Finally, we just heard through the grapevine of, just bands killing it over here. Like, if you want to take it to that next step, get across to the other side, just a bit more population than Perth and WA, which, I mean, WA is great, but it is kind of isolated in its own little way, and you can only do so much.
Yeah,
you can only play in Perth so many times and all them little country towns until you're like, okay, we got to
do something else.
So yeah,
absolutely. And it's funny because the timeline sort of meets up here, because I used to work in the city.
Yep.
2013, 2014.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hated the job. It was a piece of shit.
When did you move?
Here.
Yeah.
2013.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, March.
Yep.
2013.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd been here for a little while, but not long enough that I didn't really know, people and bands and things.
Yeah.
And I remember I caught the train home one day, and there's a magazine thing called the Melbourne Express, or Metro Express.
Metro Express.
And you guys were fucking on the cover.
What the fuck?
And that's how I found out who you were.
Really?
And I opened it up, and it was about, it was talking about you guys had come from Western Australia. You had a show at in Richmond somewhere.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was like your first show.
Yeah.
Maybe Axel was there. Hawthorne
Hotel or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was all about like you guys and, doing glam rock and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, there are other people here like me.
Oh,
this is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's how I heard who you guys were.
Oh, how cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sick.
Random.
It is random as hell. Fucking hell, yeah.
Like a train magazine.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's crazy. It's like you didn't even know that was happening.
Even think I knew. No, I remember we had some press on board, and I remember just, like, we had this management and shit, but we were, like, just fishing out money to try and get the band out there. So, like, we moved in Melbourne. No one knows who the fuck we are. So we started just fishing out money and investing in, it it was either the Herald Sun or this other. It was like an MX magazine or something.
That was the one.
That was the one.
The Metro Express.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And then they come and did a photo shoot. We did like a mock stage, and we just posed there in front of the camera. I think I got the photo somewhere. And then, I had no idea where that ended up, if it even worked, but it obviously worked, so that's good.
It did work.
You saw it, so that's awesome.
Me and a lot
Sick.
of other people at the train station, because
Nice.
they just have them in bundles on the ground, and they're handing them out to people, and on the front is like
Fuck.
you three.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, did that show go well? Was there a lot of people?
It actually surprisingly did okay. Like, for the first show that it was, like... I think
shows can be brutal.
it was brutal, and we did have a few like friends and stuff, but it was kind of weird though, because like we do the whole thing, we do what we do, like we've been doing the show thing since we started, the drop curtain thing and shit, but like the crowd was like, it was weird. They were all like back.
Yeah, okay.
So like no one was at the front or anything, and we played. It was really weird. Yeah, it was weird.
It sounds like the complete opposite of your shows today.
Yeah, yep. It's taken a full turn, which is very lucky. Like it's cool.
That's awesome. So when you guys got here, and you start playing the scene, and you've got a few shows under your belt.
Yeah.
You're starting to get some, I don't want to say mileage, but that sounds really bad. Yeah. But getting some mileage under your Melbourne, music shows and stuff.
Definitely. Getting to know even the cities, like, 'cause we'd never come from here, so we're like, what the fuck is St Kilda, like, or what's Richmond, where is this place, or like, it took us a while to kind of build like, okay, we know what's going on, we know where people are hanging out, what's going on, and yeah.
People are definitely hanging out in St Kilda. It was my first show in Melbourne. I was playing in this band, and we played at the SB in St Kilda.
Oh yeah.
First show, and we had hookers climb on stage and get arrested.
Oh my God, holy shit.
And my mate's like, welcome to St Kilda. I go, okay, cool.
That's crazy.
And there was a dude outside like biking around, and he was high as fuck. And he had like, he was riding a green bike, and he had those glasses on with the eyes on the springs.
Oh my God.
And he goes, mate, I'm going to give you some advice. I went, oh, what's that? He goes, there ain't nothing in the dark, but more fucking dark.
What?
Dude was stoned as hell.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Australia's weird. I love Australia. It's a good place.
That's crazy. What a story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You said St Kilda.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So yeah, once you guys start doing that, and like you said, learning about parts around the city and getting a feel for different areas, because every area has a different vibe and responds differently as well. Yeah. People in one place won't necessarily like it or respond the same as someone in another part.
Yeah, exactly right. You have them hipster kind of areas from like, you walk in dressed like the way we do. They're like, you fucking faggot, what are you doing? Like, cut your fucking hair. Like, that bullshit. And,
while they're wearing beanies in summertime.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, fuck.
So when you guys are doing that, playing around and stuff, what I'm trying to think of how to say this in a way that I can sort of execute it in two ways at the same time. So what was the hardest part about coming here and establishing yourself? Like, what challenges did you have, and what were some of the things that surprised you the most about the scene here, and what did you learn very quickly?
Definitely. So moving over, family band and stuff, we decided to do it together. So we did it as a family. So that means the whole family, like mum and dad and shit, came over. All other family, though, you leave behind, and friends like grandparents and stuff. And the sad thing about that, and the hardest part, is that, they're all getting older. And you make them sacrifices. And, even though you're still in Australia, Perth is still like 3-4 hours away, that kind of thing. So, you get them moments where it's like, oh, fuck, what have we done? We move over here and But I guess it all makes up when you get on stage and you play, and we're like, okay, we're born. We love to do this, so like we got to do this. But that's probably the hardest part. And I guess adapting to the scene over here.
Was it like an eye opener?
It was definitely an eye opener. Like it felt like people just started to accept it a bit more anyway than what they do, because Australia's hard,
very
in the music industry as it is. But compared to WA, we notice a difference playing in Melbourne and that kind of thing. When people come to watch us, they were they grabbed onto it and they like latched on and they want to be a part of it, and they which is really cool. Like from what we've created now in our we call it the Doll Army. But I guess that's how that's grown in a way, because people have like, they just love what we do, which is just so cool, and we're so like, humbled by that. And I guess over there, that really didn't happen. It did in small patches, like you create that sort of fan base. But I guess for us over here, I don't know, it was one of them things. Like it just started to grow here. Like
And as soon as it starts growing, it expands outwards and infects people.
Yeah.
And then they return for more and tell their friends.
Yep, tell their friends. And that's how it kind of happened. And then they start buying your merch and blah, blah, blah. I remember when we moved, though, for what we started doing as a band, and there was a lot of acts that, like, we went and watched and stuff, some bands just in the scene. We'd go out and be like, okay, we'll go check it out. We noticed that bands didn't even have like a backdrop behind them. Like they didn't even have like, and we were doing this in WA. We used to put up our banner that says Sisters All. We hand painted it. Like, and we used to use that old fashioned one. We used to do that. We had them little flame machines, shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And, but we'd go to concerts and there'd be a rock band. I can't remember who, but they'd be on stage and we'd be like, fuck, they don't even have like they don't really care about their stage show or anything. That's what we noticed, like, sorry, man. Right. I guess it's like that Aussie kind of, Aussie rock, if you call it that, like it's more that kind of style.
Pub rock,
get on stage, drink beer and shit like that, which is cool, and that's that kind of scene. But for what we were trying to do was just something a bit different, and I guess that was, it's crazy to see that everyone loves that sort of scene, which is cool.
Yeah.
But to us, we're like, man, that's a bit different. I don't know, like that's what people want to see, like instead of like a stage show or that kind of thing. And that's not knocking anyone or anyone in the scene these days. That's just that kind of
just wasn't what you guys wanted, and you noticed that was missing.
Yeah, I guess, and that's what people were taken to over here in a way. Like
Had you guys always wanted to do a band where that kind of stage show is a prominent feature? Like, is that always something you aspired to?
Definitely. I think, like, if we were going to do something, like, we always wanted to, push it a bit. Like, we went into them band competitions back in the day, and Brennan used to be a dancer, so, like, he'd be fucking, like, kicking his leg, doing the David Lee Roth sort of shit.
The
split kick, and then it eventuated Austin, wear the hat, that looks fucking cool. Let's put on mum's makeup and shit, you know, like that sort of thing. And I guess it was like from that to like, all right, I'll try and twirl my sticks now to shit like that. We're just trying to, I think from day one, we want to create something that like is just different in a way, but like, he's putting on a show as well. Like, yeah.
And your band, with, you know, putting on the show and stuff like that, sorry, a lot of people, I don't know if you've found this, but an interesting point or thing to think about is a lot of musicians here knock the whole part about the image. That they shit on it. And they say, 100%. It's only the music that matters. While the music is the important part, image can't be written off.
No, definitely not.
In my opinion, and yours too. It's
totally
a huge
agree.
thing. Because if that was bullshit, then you guys wouldn't be as successful as you are.
Definitely not. And I can rattle off of, I've seen some acts anyway that like, it's all looks but no hooks in a way. Like, you know what I mean? No.
Can I use that?
Yeah, use that. That's it. That can be the fucking headline.
Lipz 2020, all looks, no hooks.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you can look good, but fuck, you got to be able to play. And like, going back to when it started, like, playing music and stuff, it has to be in your fucking blood. Like, if you're going to do it to try and be cool and you genuinely don't want to, like, do it, like, has to be in you. Like,
I don't think you can sustain that too.
No, like definitely not.
The bullshit only carries you so far.
Yeah.
It's like people who are talented at something who don't practice.
Yeah.
If you can ride that, but if someone can kind of play it but practices their ass off, they will surpass you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, you can't sustain being a lazy cunt.
No. Yeah,
to put it simply.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be, you got to do it. Yeah.
100%. And like, because you guys came here as a family and a unit.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped, or just pretend you weren't doing it and you did it by yourself?
Yeah.
Would that turn out differently for you, do you think?
Yeah, I think it would in a way, like, almost, because I still would have the same passion and the same goals, I guess, but I guess it was just family. Yeah, I don't know, just keeping you grounded, I guess, in a way, like, and and just being all on board with the same goal as well, too. Like, us three in the band, like, we've all got that same goal we want to strive to, and just hearing from experience from his old band and stuff, it was hard. They're all going in different directions, want to do different things. So I guess that, which is fine, and that's cool, and at least they were honest at that point. Otherwise, our band probably wouldn't even have started. So it's
so thank you for going in different directions.
Exactly. Yeah, but I guess having that same goal and stuff, and having family behind you is always the best thing, I reckon. So
and sometimes it can make or break things, because
for sure,
sometimes, man, being in a band is hard.
It is.
And to stay motivated and like, why am I doing this?
Exactly.
When you've got each other.
Yeah.
I think that can be invaluable.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
And we do have moments, like, we are brothers, but with like...
Do you guys fight?
Yeah, we have our moments. Definitely have our moments. And we've even recently, like, we're like 10 years is the band, and we're like, fuck, like, you have them questions. You're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like...
Yeah, sure.
We got to start having kids soon and, like, moving out and doing all that shit. But not for me for a long time anyway. But, like,
she's in the corner going, no fucking way.
She's like, hell no. But yeah, it's one of them things that, like,
just yes, period.
Yeah.
So with you guys being brothers in a band, like, there are a lot of famous bands that are brothers, Van Halen, stuff like that.
Yep.
Do you think the dynamic is different because you are family compared to being in a band? Like, I know being in a band is like your brothers anyway, but it's also weird because it's also like you're married or you have a girlfriend.
Exactly. Yeah.
But adding family part to that,
I know.
What's that like?
It's crazy because you're like, you do, like I was saying before, like, we've had discussions, we've literally, like, because, you know, we're still living together, so you walk in the kitchen, you fucking make toast, shit like that. But then you're like, okay, hang on, we're in a fucking band together, let's, you know what I mean? You miss that time where you got to sit down and make sure it's an important thing to talk about. Like, hang on, we're in the band, let's call a meeting, like a professional sort of thing.
I guess, are you guys honest with each other?
We're pretty good, which is good because, I mean... you do get them moments where you're like, I guess when we were younger, you kind of just go with the flow. Okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. But deep down, you genuinely want to, you know what I mean?
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So, but I mean, we've all been, honest and had that same goal, which has been good. But you do have moments, you do like, and like you said, you're stuck together when you're brothers or in a band. But then when you're brothers as well, there's that kind of...
It's another dynamic.
It is. And, there is hard times.
I believe,
Yeah.
My brother was a bass player, and growing up, we were in bands together. You know, he didn't really want to do music.
Okay,
but he was a really good bass player. So I don't know to the degree that you guys experience, but I could sort of get from that, you know, how it could possibly be.
Yeah.
You know, and then have been in bands with people like...
Yeah.
really honest bands.
Yeah.
Sometimes too honest. No, you guys are, it's really cool to see that. And, you know, people say don't work together like with someone who you...
Family and
family and
relationship or, I hear that all the time. Like,
But you guys pull it off well.
Yeah, exactly. I guess from that way as well, I guess we got our parents and we come from a really good family. So I guess it's that too, I guess. Like, I don't know, a good family, I guess. Like, I guess if we... I don't know, rough upbringing in a way, like putting it that way, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if we, would have done what we do or made some of the decisions we have or like that kind of thing. So, who knows? Like, it's,
You can't tell what's going to happen, you know, like you
exactly,
can think what ifs, but you can only go from what's actually happened in your own life.
Exactly, yes. That's all I can kind of go by, which is, it's a tricky one, but,
So, in your band, generic question, alert, how do you guys write songs?
Yep.
And with the whole concept of Sister's Dole and all that sort of thing, you know, something I'm curious to know is how did that idea come up?
Yep.
I know where the name comes from because we've talked about it, but I'll let you say that.
Yeah.
But how did the whole theme of like Dollhouse and Dolled Up and you know, wanting to come up with that theme and concept and use that as a running continuous idea.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, so the whole Sister's Doll thing, we love the idea of like Kiss and Twisted Sister, like them band names, like when you hear it, like Kiss, like you wouldn't think of four guys in makeup on stage just blowing shit up. So I guess we thought of the most wackiest, fucking weirdest thing. And we're like, Sister's Doll. People are going to look at that and go, oh, they're going to come and watch some chicks on stage, or like, you know what I mean?
Chicks with dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so it was that kind of concept. It was like, okay, let's do something that's like a name, but like it isn't that. Like Sister's Doll, that's like a little girl holding a doll, you know what I mean? Like, really. And but like we're like, three dudes that get up and try and blow shit up anyway. And it's totally different to what the name is in a way. And it had we had to come up with a name that had a good chant too. Had to go like when people are in a crowd.
Yeah, you got to think about these things.
Sisters. It had a good ring. So we're like, it fucking works. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But then, it was like, let's create a theme. Let's like, okay, doll. Let's fucking use that. Like everyone's used it as like you got the New York Dolls. That sort of kind of, it was New York punk in a way, but we kind of decided to switch it, go the more horror theme, Dollhouse, and then we thought, like Alice Cooperish style with the big staircase, the drum kit sitting on top, and like girls dressed as fucking crazy clowns, and so that's how it kind of grew, and it was very much my intake as well, like for that song and that theme and that sort of thing as well.
That's Welcome to the Dollhouse song, right?
Welcome to the Dollhouse, I wanted to create something that was like, And when we went to do the album, it was like, we got to create a theme and
so you
do
based
something
it
with
around that song?
Yeah, based it around that song, really.
Okay.
And
And did you do the artwork for that? Because
I did the artwork. Created the doll, like doing a weird thing with like the it kind of worked
with the hand like up and then or down or whatever it is. Your art's awesome too.
Thanks, man.
Some of the designs you've done, and Axel showed me the design you did for his brother.
His brother, yeah.
It's fucking cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
No worries. Have to get you to do one for the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So when you guys obviously everyone's on board with the Dollhouse thing, that's all happening. Who in the band, is there like a leader, or do you guys all decide, or do you go on a vote system, like someone gets outvoted?
Almost. I guess it's tricky to say because we've never been in that position of like everyone have a different, or we have, like, in saying that, because everyone has their own opinion in a way, but collectively in the end we always come together with, okay, let's run with it, you know, if we're all cool with it. And usually most of the time we're all on the same page with things, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, like, in the earlier days, like, me and Austin, even Brennan was younger, but Brennan took the reins in most of the writing and stuff.
Of the songs?
Of the songs, because he had a lot of songs written there. And me and Austin was still pretty young, so we weren't really writing at that stage of the first album.
Yep.
And from his old band and stuff, he had old ideas and shit like that and music and stuff, so we kind of rolled with it. But then during the creating process of it, we come up with ideas, like obviously the drumming and the music sort of side of it and that sort of thing. I guess Brennan 99% of the time takes the reins on like lyrics in a way, unless we come up with a cool title, like on our second album, like Young, Wild and Free. I come up with that.
Good song.
And then like that title and then the whole Dollhouse theme. And then, so there's little bits that you all kind of contribute to one whole thing in a way. So yeah.
Everyone plays a different role in
almost
the production of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's growing as we like, obviously we're older now, me and Austin and stuff, like I've written a shitload of songs, so has Austin and stuff, and we kind of, it's all collaborative now, but yeah.
Do you write from experiences, or do you write from dreams, or?
Definitely experiences in a way, like, it's either like a love story or that kind of thing sometimes. Like for me, I always go from that sort of way.
Well, people like hearing about that stuff, so it works out fine.
I know, fuck, Ed Sheeran. God.
Hey, perfect example.
Yeah.
Love is a universal language, so if you can capture that and put it to pen and paper.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
That's like the magic ingredient. That's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, definitely.
When it's done right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also, like, with you guys and your songwriting style, and have you found that it's evolved?
Definitely.
Not the process, but the sound.
Definitely the sound has evolved. Like when we first started, it was very just drums, bass, guitar. We didn't really get into, like, we were doing solos, like Brennan was doing solos, but we weren't really doing the full glam metal solos or metal ballads that we always loved, and we always we knew we wanted to get there, but we kind of just, I guess, being young and stuff as well. And I mean, 2012 we did that album as well, so that's like when we Dollhouse, yeah, so that's when we first started,
which you can buy at www.sistersband.com.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, I guess, and now it's progressed to like what sounds radio friendly, what are people listening to, because sometimes there's that barrier of, okay, we can go and record an awesome album and sound like an awesome glam band, or like, a lot of the mock of like a lot of the other stuff that we listen to and love and stuff. But at the same time, that's almost like flogging a dead horse in a way, which is a weird saying to say, but it just came out, felt right. It was like, because is that gonna get radio play? Is that gonna thing? And we had these discussions before we did our latest single, Black Mirror, and we created a cool theme with that, with the whole phones and that sort of thing, to create another. So we always thinking like theme, like let's do something, something different. And it was but it's one of them things where it's like, okay, do we create a song for radio that's just like has like hardly any guitars, a solid drum beat, change the tune, Brennan changes his vocals and stuff, no guitars, and go real like fucking R&B or some shit to try and get radio play to be different? Or do we just stick to our guns, do what everyone loves at the minute, and hopefully that can grow with the music that we're writing? So we have had discussions like that, like, should we change, should we do this? But at the end of the day, sometimes, if it's not guaranteed to be on radio or anything, who are you creating a song for at the end of the day, really? And always comes down to the fans and the people that are listening to you now. And I guess that's where it's sitting at the minute. Like we're doing what we want to write as well. Like like we love the way it's progressed now. We got and we can really hear the harmonies, what we're trying to sing and stuff like that. All them little things that you pick up along the way. Yeah. Yeah, but...
So the commercial aspect is very important.
Definitely, yeah. We try and think of it in that way, but it's so hard to please everyone too. It's hard.
It's almost, you can't please everyone, but you can certainly try.
Yeah.
So why not?
Exactly, yeah.
And people that knock that, I think people tend to shit on stuff that is commercially successful too, you know, like
They do, yeah.
It's like it is the Black Album, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not metal."
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, who gives a fuck? Because they made a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know, and they're good songs. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all commercial stuff, and radio play is very important, you know.
Yeah.
And to have that as a goal, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
people would just have a stick shoved up their ass about it
I
and
know.
go, "Oh, no, that's not like the real thing."
Yeah.
Well, it's the real thing more than you just playing at home in your bedroom to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the guy who says that he's off banging heaps of chicks, but he's just married to his right hand.
That's right.
You know? So, yeah, you guys have done 2 studio albums and a single.
And a single, yeah.
Yeah, Black Mirror. So, Welcome to the Dollhouse was 2012. All Dolled Up was 2017, which... Thanks for the CD.
Yeah, all good. It was a long
it.
time coming. Yeah.
Dude, I've heard that album a lot. I've never owned it.
Yeah.
You know, but I got the first one, and I love that. I really like the second album.
Oh, thanks.
I like the first one too, but the second one really, it seems like the next level. If
Definitely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
I respect both of them.
Yeah, no,
not,
thanks
you know.
heaps. Yeah, no, I
And
know
the
what you mean.
single, number 1.
Yeah, I know.
How does that feel?
That was crazy. And that was under 24 hours. And I think I woke up the next day and it was still at it was a couple of days after, it still sat. It was like number 4, number 5 or something. And it was Australian rock charts. But I think the overall rock charts as well, it got to 20 or something, which was that's all over. Like if you were in America or something and searched it,
Number
you'd see
20
it there.
in the world.
Yeah. And then it was number 1 in Australia, which was just freaking crazy, even though it was Queen greatest hits, Metallica, you know what I mean? But the Queen movie did just come out, that Bohemian Rhapsody, and we're like, what the fuck, you know?
That was massive.
It was crazy, yeah.
Huge.
So it was to be up there, we're very lucky. So that was pretty cool.
Do you feel
little moments like that?
When that sort of thing happens, is that you know, through all the struggle and the hard times and like you said before, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? When things like that happen, is that just the moment where you go
100%, man? We're honestly going to record a different song. It was almost on the verge of disco / I don't even know. It was totally different to what we do. It was still rock and stuff, but it was just it wasn't true to us. This was before Black Mirror. So we actually recorded 3 songs in the studio, 2 that, we haven't finished yet, but we did Black Mirror, obviously, and we stuck to our guns, which I'm glad we did, because when you see results like that, it's what the fuck were we thinking? Just stay true to yourself and do what you love and what you want to do. So, yeah.
You'll only be able to be you the best.
Exactly. Yep.
You know? And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so true.
And embrace it and run with it. You know? It's not a crime to be for people who are afraid of, you know, not being popular or cool or whatever. It's who's to decide that anyway, you know?
Exactly, I know.
If it's what you want to do, do it.
That's right. And don't listen to all that judgmental stuff that people say and
fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them all.
That's right.
No, it's awesome, man. And to achieve stuff like that, you know, it just, when people can mock something, not saying people do, but, you know, if someone was to mock me and I was in your position, I would just be like, wow, did you get to number 20 in the world or number 1 in Australia? No, you fucking didn't. So, see ya.
Yeah. I know, you do kind of have that self, empowerment in a way, I guess, when someone, I guess, in a way. That's true, man.
It's awesome. It's such a cool achievement to have. And
thanks.
You know, and for you guys having only done 2 albums and a single,
I know,
the way you've marketed your band and the success that you guys have achieved, all these accolades, you know, everything we've talked about, you know, trips to America, which, you know, opening for Peter Criss,
fuck.
Dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, to do that off of 23 songs or something?
Yeah. I know, that's what I mean. Usually people do a album every 2 years or something, and when you look back, it's only been 10 years. but still in that time we've only released 23 songs. When you put it that way, it's like, fuck, we've done okay for what we've done. Like, thanks, man. That's cool.
Oh, dude, it's just the truth. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, you know. But like, I feel like I'm a pretty straight shooter, you know. But I respect that. I have a lot of respect for that. You know, not just because you're my friend or anything, but to do that, that's an accomplishment because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And I know what the challenge is to get there, you know.
It is crazy, and the hardest thing is, like, in this country, unless you are a tribute act or that kind of thing, that's when you can feel like crowds and stuff. You get people coming to the shows, and because I've been in a couple and stuff, and then
we've been in the same tribute.
We've been in the same one. Shout out, Looks That Kill.
Yeah, Looks That Kill.
Kistroya. Which is amazing, and that's what everyone takes to in Australia. What I've noticed as well, everyone loves going and watching a tribute, but original bands that are out there playing and working hard as well. It is hard, like it's a harder scene in Australia, like original music. So we're very lucky to have still people coming to our shows as well, like on a similar kind of thing. So,
and not just turning up because something's on, turning up because they want to be there, seeing the line for your was it VIP like pre-show thing when you played the Central Club? The line. People want that.
I know.
Like what you do.
It's fucking crazy, and you have to pinch yourself because like it's taken a long time to get to that kind of point at least, and very lucky, and like when you see things like that, like it's cool.
I bet
it's nuts.
It's funny because I was at that show and a lady came up to me. And she goes, "Oh, do you want to buy a Sisters Doll poster? Or do you want to win the chance for them to sign it or something?" I'm like, "Now just ask them later."
That's funny. That's too good.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, man. And when you guys do shows, obviously, if you've never been to a show, you should go see them play. It's an experience. It's not just hearing some music. There's the drum solo for one. We got to talk about that, can we?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, dude. So, if you've never seen their band play, Bryce does a drum solo and he has laser gloves and all this stuff.
A lot going on.
Recently, the crazy dude added in like a spinning drum set, and it's funny because the first time that happened at Musicland, perfect venue to do it. Perfect venue. It was good.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
it was an all-ages show.
Yeah, all ages.
So, first of all, how do you get an all-ages show at a bar?
I know.
How does that happen?
To be honest, I hope they're not listening. But
bribery.
Yeah, I think there's like a slight... I think... We used wristband that night. Did you have wristbands at Musicland? Usually they do
not sure.
Because they usually do they give wristbands to people that can drink or something, and then the younger one, that kind of thing.
So the bar won't serve them.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But I think there is a lot of venues out there though that it is hard, because we do have like a few younger kind of fans and that sort of thing as well that like to tag along and come to the shows and that. So it's hard when you can't do a big show like that in the city or something that's easy for everyone to get to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we're lucky we get away with it at Musicland, which is good. But
it was great, and the kids were loving it, and you could see them there with mum and dad had brought them along.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a family thing. It's transcended just
one
person.
And that's what you see with bands. They're doing it 40 years later, and it's like, what the fuck's like? Everyone, I guess maybe because they think it's like it's similar to a Kiss and a Motley Crue, they relate it to that way. So I guess that's why their kids are into it, because they love. Because of the Queen movie that's helped these days. Who knows? But it's cool to see. It's really cool to see. It's growing that way,
And, when they're standing there at the front and the lights turn down like halfway through or 3/4 through the show, whenever it may be, and then the hand comes up with the lights.
Fucking laser gloves come up,
gloves
are fucking hard to drum in too.
I bet.
I end up with real bad fucking scars here.
Yeah.
because they're like, they're obviously not meant to be playing drums with, and I had to order them and get them and shit and modify them because when you get them, the button is like on your hand, so you can't
hold the stick.
Can't hold the stick, so I had to move the button and get this guy to fucking bulletproof them because the lasers, I think I broke the last ones from the last show. Got to get them fixed again, but they're another little thing that just to add something different too. 'Cause it's hard when you have influences like your Tommy Lee, Peter Criss, that sort of thing. Like, and at first I was like, the easiest way would be to go up, like lift the drum riser up to a certain point, and it would look cool. It'd be like, oh fuck, he's up pretty high, like for the drum solo.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about chords and shit. But then I was like, nah, I fucking want to do something else, and something that like is just different. I think the only guy I saw was Neil Peart. Rest in
from
peace.
Rush.
Yeah, from Rush, and he span. I think he kind of did like just a 180.
Yeah.
Because he had like two separate drum kits on either side, and I thought that was really cool. And I was like, how about we try and spin? And then, but I was like, what about the fucking chords are gonna tangle? And anyways, I got this guy on board, Glenn, his name was, and he built this thing a while ago, and he does it for his little tribute shows and stuff. And he kind of, he twists only like halfway and stuff because he was worried about the chords and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, you got to help me. I want to do full 360. Like, I just want to keep spinning and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it eventuated to, Shane, this guy who just comes along. He loves the band and stuff, which is great. And he's a bit of a builder. And he built this rig that actually, fucking like can spin. And he's modded it on his computer. So he clicks the button and it just goes.
Okay.
So I actually don't need to worry about
Do you know when it's coming?
We tried to rehearse it.
Yeah.
So it was like rehearsed to the sound and stuff. So I know when I'm going to spin and stuff and on the cue of the music and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
It doesn't throw you off.
No. It's like $1 million project though, like for what he's created. And like, it's fucking crazy. It's nuts.
It looks really cool.
It's something different too, like just spinning in circles. Get a bit dizzy after it, but I haven't really seen it before though.
No.
So far. So
and especially at a club level.
Yeah, at like that as well. Like,
convincing venues to be able to let you do that. That's got to be its own challenge.
We had to go to Musicland because that's why the Musicland was like the pinnacle. That's where it looked incredible. We had to go there and measure their drum riser. We had to put a socket, like this wood thing, to put underneath their riser. That was on wheels, so we could like wheel it out and that sort of thing. And then, there's a lot that kind of goes into it. You know, like before the show, we were at Musicland like the week before, like testing it. I was testing it on the drum because I'd never done it before either.
Sure. And you're not strapped into it, eh?
No, not strapped in. That's probably one thing I need to look at though, because it's getting quicker. Like the more I did, like the last show we did, I'm like, fuck, I want it to go a bit quicker, and then oh shit, I'll end up falling off soon. But
So when you guys, when you did the solo and stuff, and obviously you guys have a lot of equipment on stage, like
there's a lot of shit.
You've got like smoke stuff. You got TVs. You got the drum machine spinning. The Lipz wheel you called it, right?
The Lipz wheel.
The Lipz wheel. Which sounds like a brutal kiss.
Yeah, it does.
Do you guys have roadies?
We do. We've had Berkey, which was a dude who just tagged along. He had
the guy who was at like every show that came up and got the guitar?
Oh, that's Jim.
That's
Jim. Yeah, he's been there through like thick and thin. Like he's travelled with us to Western Australia. You know, like them little jobs that when you're touring, you're like, Jim, could you put some waters on stage? Could you go put the set list out? Could you, them little jobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's so great for that. Like, and he's a huge Kiss fan, and that's how we kind of met him and doing Kiss stuff and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's mainly just been him, our old man, so our dad, and then there was this other guy that came along for a bit and that sort of thing. But now it's just literally us, and now Shane who built the Lipz as well. So
he takes care of that part of it.
Yeah, he tags along and helps us lift some shit in and that at a venue, which we're so lucky. Like, 'cause if it was just us three, like we've done it before, just us three, and it's fucking like by the time you get on stage, you're sore. You know what it would be like carting in gear into like
yeah. Well, with crew band, there's a lot of stuff, and
you've
got to. The thing people don't realize, you're there for like 13 hours.
Yes, fucking like 2 or 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I know how hard Dan and Brad shout out work, and they built all that incredible stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not fucking easy to lift in that shit. Like, yeah,
it's heavy. And then you got to play the show, and you know the way you play, like full energy. That's tiring on its own.
It is.
People don't realise that. That takes a very high level of being fit.
Yeah, it does.
And then after that, like if you sprint a race at school, you just want to pass out.
I know.
You don't want to carry shit and pack it all up and leave.
Hell no.
And you got people hounding you as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to talk to the fans after, and then you have to
How important is that?
You have to do that. Like for any band listening or whatever, you got to do that. Like people want to interact with you. They want to get to know you, like on a friendship level almost. And there is that point where it's like, okay, there's that cut in half part where it's like, okay, fan and friend in a way, like almost like, but then your fans end up becoming your friends. But yeah, you got to do that as tired as you are. Like they've come there to watch you tonight, so you got to go out there, make sure you do that. Yeah. So when you finish the gig, the job's not finished. Like, got to keep going, and then after that, everyone leaves, and then you got to pack up, and it's nuts.
It's a journey.
It is. It's
and doing original music as well.
Yep.
Starting off, you're doing it for nothing.
Yeah. No money, no.
Some people pay to play.
You pay to play, and we did that a few times when we I remember even playing at Musicland when we first moved here a couple of times. Even with you guys that time, like there was fucking no one there in Musicland, like not a crowd, not anything, and you're up there playing, and then it comes to a gig like we did at Musicland that time. It's like,
and it's packed.
It's packed, and it's like fuck an oath, like like it gets to that next point. People actually buying tickets to watch now, and it's like fucking never would in a million years thought you'd get to that stature, like at this level anyway. So
and you start lucky, you have to do pre-sales, and
you got to do that.
Because it just floods.
It does.
That's crazy. And so we talked about influences and stuff like that, and the stage show and wanting to do that kind of stuff, and the cool like Tommy Lee style spinning drum set thing, but like your own version of it, which is really cool. Yeah. You've met a few of your heroes, like you opened for Peter Criss, you've met Motley Crue.
Met Motley Crue once.
Meeting heroes, yay or nay?
I must say I'm going to start with Peter Criss. We hit in the Kiss Vine, you hear a lot of stuff like there's so many stories, like you even go online, and this isn't bagging like Paul Stanley or anything, but you hear them guys and even Gene say him and Ace are like coked out fucking idiots and blah 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 and all that shit and stuff. But from my experience with Peter Criss and stuff, like, you know what I mean, that was years ago that happened, you know what I mean? So like meeting him now, he's the most humble, down to earth dude who just a super nice guy, and just to be able to even talk like this about him and to hear him on the phone. Like I remember when we did this show with Peter Criss, like, so we had to play as his band as well, and then support him. So that was just a dream come true. And you're in the rehearsal studio with him, and he's yelling out to you to be like, Bryce, that sounds great. Like, just do that, man. Like, and I'm like, fuck, and this is fucking Peter Criss telling me this shit. Like,
you're like slapping yourself. Am I awake?
Like, Jesus Christ, like, and so there's moments like that, even with Bruce Kulick, and
he was in Kiss too, right?
Played bloody stadiums and arenas and shit. It's just incredible, and to be able to for him to play with him was fucking hell, like crazy. And then like, yeah, you meet, but from that level to then you go for a meet and greet with Motley Crue, and it's just like, okay, photo now, walk in. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you guys. How you doing? I'll shake all their hands. I'm like, fuck, I love you guys. And they're like, okay, done. You're out, like 2 seconds. And it's like, yeah, so I'm lucky to have actually, to get on that
Spend
level.
the time with them. And
Yeah, like your Peter Criss and stuff to, even Robert Fuso from Skid Row.
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was when we did the tour because he was playing with that 4x8.
Oh, okay.
That tour with them guys and Bruce and stuff, and just chilling on the tour bus and stuff, and just some stories you hear and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Like,
Actually,
nuts.
like getting past the what do they call it? A photo op.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Even when you meet Kiss, it's like bang, like 2 seconds. Like,
I heard a crazy thing about Kiss the other day. It was that on their End of the Road tour, whatever it is. You know how sometimes you can buy the guitar and they'll like play it for a song and all that?
Yeah.
So Paul Stanley's guitar, this didn't include a concert ticket. So you don't get a ticket, you've got to buy that separate. How much do you reckon the guitar cost? And he'll play it for one song.
I think I heard something about this, but I don't know how much it was.
$18,000
That's
and
fucked.
if you wanted the strap, it was an extra $3,000.
The guitar strap.
Yeah.
Fuck's
The
sake.
strap didn't come with it.
That's ridiculous. Like, that's just pushing money to the next, like, what the fuck?
Even
That's
if you were in
crazy.
that position and you already had like shitloads of dollars.
You don't need it. Like,
No, you don't.
That's where it gets ridiculous. A fucking guitar strap, like...
That's where it turns into nay.
Yeah, 100%. Like...
I do want to touch on something that's not... I guess it's kind of to do with music because it's to do with you.
Yep.
But cherry lipstick.
Yeah.
You know, your clothing and stuff like that. Explain for people who don't know what it is, a little bit about it, the history, why you decided to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously you do graphic art and stuff like that, so it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And how'd you get Tommy Lee to wear one of your clothes?
That was, super lucky for that. Well, I'll go from the start. It kind of started in high school. I'd draw just cartoon, cartoon little images, like cartoon characters, doing shit, like all this weird stuff, like just cartoon though. I loved I grew up loving like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, do you remember that card game?
I actually do.
I fucking love that card game. All the anime characters, Pokemon, all that shit.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess it was that sort of style. And I drew this one face and I said, fuck, that looks really cool. I'm going to turn that into a, into something one day. I really want to turn that into something one day. And it was just sitting there over the years. It come time to get my first tattoo when I was 20. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to get a tattoo, I'm going to get something that like, I want to believe in myself with this thing. So I'm like, okay. So then I got the face incorporated with drums, obviously. And then I was like, okay, I've got it now.
Yeah.
Now it's time to fucking do it. Like that's a memory to be like, okay, go do it now.
Yeah.
So eventually, it got time to producing some stuff. And I started getting a couple of prints and that sort of thing. And I was like, fuck, that looks really cool. And then I just I just put it out there and just hope for the best, really.
You mean the put it on clothes and put it out there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
And just got it out there as quick as I could. I think it was after when we did them TV shows and that sort of thing. So the band was at a good point where we had a lot of fan influx and that sort of thing. So it was great and
help push the product as well.
Help push it out a lot and it's a wacky little design that like the eye like overlaps the teeth and like it's a little fucked up, but it's it's a part of me and so it's almost like a cartoon representation of myself.
Yeah.
And I remember when I drew it with like the long spikes for like long hair.
Yep.
So I remember just being in a handful of like relationships in the past and shit, and your missus is almost like, cut your hair, what are you doing with your hair? And then this was my moment to be like, well, fuck you, I'm doing what I want to do, you know what I mean? Like
being who you want to be.
Be who you want to be. So that's the whole, believe in yourself, that whole thing.
It's got a really positive uplifting message behind it.
Yeah, so there's a huge message behind the actual brand that I really want to, hopefully everyone's grasped onto that. Like, you know, like to try and, you know, be different and be yourself and do what you want to do. So, yeah.
That's a good piece of advice for anyone who's listening, you know. No matter who you are, if you're struggling with that whole thing, you know, and you're not sure about it, or maybe no one will like me or whatever, just push yourself, because you only be able to be you the best.
Exactly.
You know?
That's a great saying, man. You've said that a couple of times. That's so true.
I sound like a broken record.
No. It's so true, and that's what everyone should, definitely take that on board. Like, definitely.
So I've got a few sort of, I guess, quick fire questions, even though they don't have to be quick fire answers, but I'll sort of just throw some sharp questions at you. First one, do you still get nervous, and is it healthy to be nervous?
I do still get nervous. Yep. I think it's healthy because it gives you that what do you call it, adrenaline to be like, oh fuck, I gotta get out, you know, like I want to get out there.
Spewing in buckets or anything like that?
No, I'm not that bad, but it's like, fuck, you're almost that adrenaline to want to go out there and do it. So that nervousness, I guess, fuels the adrenaline to be like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like before you go on stage.
Yeah.
But then you're like, it depends how many shows you're doing as well, because like lately we've just been doing like one-off shows, like monthly sort of thing.
Yep.
So you're kind of building yourself up, and then when you finally do it, I reckon that's when the nerves probably tend to kick in more.
Sure.
But then, you go on a tour or something, you're like, still get that adrenaline and that thing, but you're just a bit more comfortable, like if you do a bit of a tour and that sort of thing. But
because you're doing it more constantly?
Doing it more constantly, I think, and you feel more comfortable doing it every night, opposed to, I think if anyone says they, don't get nervous, I think that's a lie.
Or if they don't, maybe they don't really like what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly, Or
they're not as excited about it as maybe they should be.
Yeah.
Horror show moment. Like, what's the worst moment that's happened to you on stage where you were like,
oh, I got a fucking great story.
Please, the floor is yours.
I forgot what night it was. I hope it wasn't the night, anyways, it was America, playing the Whiskey A Go-Go 2012. We had 2 nights there, so we supported a band called Bryce or something.
Yeah, okay.
Stand-up drummer, actually. The drummer actually stood up. I won't get, which was a bit strange.
Mike Portnoy style.
Yeah. Anyways, the night after I was, we were supporting Crash Diet at the Whiskey, and it was...
Like they will be later this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
If this fucking shit doesn't destroy it. I hope so. I hate it that got postponed. Yeah. But so this is in 2012. So fucking excited, like 17-year-old me, like bloody up there. I'm like
at the Whiskey in Hollywood.
Yeah, playing the Whiskey, and so we go to start Dollhouse. That suspense of the intro and everyone in the crowd. Like, there's always a decent crowd, and it was the Crash Diet night. I'm pretty sure. I hope it fucking wasn't, because it was embarrassing. I go for the and I've got these boxing boots. Do you know them, like the glam style, like boxing boots? I think the brand's like Punch or something.
No.
They're boxing boots anyways, and I bought them because I thought they looked cool, like the glammy sort of 80s style.
Okay.
I used to drum in them, and the laces were like, because their boxing boots are like huge, like they're massive laces.
Yeah.
And I didn't tuck them into my fucking shoe. The intro is like, are you ready to play? And then I'm like fucking... Oh, fucking, I'm kicking, and the fucking lace is like, can you picture like the lace of your shoe around the beater?
The loop part.
Yeah, around the beater, so I'm kicking, and Brennan turns around and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then fucking, so picture the beater, and so I'm doing that, so the beater's like,
It's not meeting the kick drum.
It's not hitting the kick. It's literally just smacking against myself, and I'm like, fuck. So I had to stop. I just had to stop, and they're like trying to play, and I'm trying to fix my shoe, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever told that story before, but it's fucking funny.
That is a bad one.
That was terrible. Like, that was just really bad. That first kick, and we did sound check, it fucking just sounded awesome in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like, whose lace gets caught in a fucking... Happened to me anyway. Yeah.
That sucks.
That's fucked, hey.
Especially, like, at the wet place doing that show.
You travel all that way to do that, like, to fucking...
for your shoelace to fuck you over.
Don't wear boxing boots when you're drumming.
Did you ditch them after that gig?
Fucking ditch them. And it's like a conscious thing now. Even you'll probably think about it now, like when you
will every time.
When you're drumming Converses and shit, 'cause even their laces are pretty long. I fucking like tuck that shit in. I'm doing it now. I tuck it in now, like nothing worse. Like, 'cause I didn't. How is that possible? Like, yeah, I don't know.
I always wear Converse when I play, so now you've fucked me for life. I'm going to be terrified every time I'm checking my shoes.
Connies are the best. They're so light, aren't they?
They're
like
great.
on the pedals and that.
Really good.
Yeah.
You can feel the whole footboard, and that they work with your foot too. They're not stiff, which is really good.
Yeah. I think that's why I kind of tried to go for the boxing boots. I was like, they're really light. But yeah, fuck that.
But if they stop you actually hitting the kick drum...
Yeah, that's it.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, that was the worst.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
The worst.
Oh man, I think that's pretty bad. That's one of the worst ones I've heard. Yeah. So like you hear about people hurting themselves or hitting themselves in the eye or whatever, but fucking that.
Sucks.
Did you like because that was for the first song.
And
then you restarted?
Right at the... No, what did...
Well, you just carried on. You jumped back in.
I think they just carried on. I think I had the floor tom going, like just to try
to keep the timing.
Try and keep it in, and they kept going. I think they went into the verse. I was there for the chorus, I think. I just got it out. But because I was kicking it so hard and the adrenaline, you're young and you're nervous and just a million things going through your head. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like...
Was that your very first gig in the States?
It was our first one, yeah.
Like ever?
Ever.
Well, at least you'll remember it.
I'll remember it now, yeah. I still remember that story, and fuck, I still remember looking down and I'm like, fuck this. Like, come all this way. Like, oh my God.
That sucks. Any, like, really, really bad... fan stories, like what's the worst fan encounter you've had? Like, what did they do? What happened? Oh yeah, I've fucking got one. Yeah, I don't know if this has been said either, but this is like a whole band. Tell all. This is a good one actually. We played in a place called Bunbury. So this is when early days of the band. That is kind of like 45 minutes from Collie. Okay, so it's Western Australia. Western Australia, and then to Perth, it's like an hour and a half. Okay. Perth is like an hour away. So we play in this small town, and there's this, you get the fucking cougars at all these shows in Australia. Trust me, I know that one. Yep. But there's this lady, and she's like sitting there, and she's like, fucking just whacked out of her head, like her eyes are just like, she was on something. She was on something crazy, and we finished the gig, and she kept yelling out. We finished the gig, and then we're like talking to some fans and shit after and that, and we saw her, and we're like, oh, she's a bit fucking weird. And then anyway, she went to the toilet or something, and they're like, all right, everyone out, kicking them out of the pub and stuff, out of the venue, and police rock up. And then the owners are like, she's in there. And they're like, what? And then they go in there, and then she's like, they're dragging her out. Apparently later we heard that she got tasered to get her out, and she's fucking like, they're my kids on stage. That's my son. They're my fucking sons. And all this shit, like claiming that she was I'm their mum. What are you doing? She was claiming that she was the fucking mum of us three. And we're like yelling out. We're like, she's not our fucking mum. Like the cops asking her, and they're like dragging her out. Oh, fucking classic though. There's some nut jobs out there. Oh my God. Like, who would fucking say that? Like, because she was yelling out shit during the show. She was like, I'm proud of you, son.
Proud of you, fucking all this dumb shit. And
So did you guys tell the bar staff who called the cops, or did the cops? Did the bar staff?
I don't think so. I think I think they just thought it was a crazy lady. Like, just okay, we got to kick him out. And then she was causing a bit of ruckus, I think, that night anyway. So they called the cops to come down. And the funny thing is, our mum doesn't come to many shows. Like, she comes every now and then, but our mum was actually in the crowd that night. Like, she was there after when it's like when we're packing up and stuff. Yeah. Mum was actually there. And we're like, that's our mum there. Like, who the fuck's this old crazy bitch? Like, yeah.
Do you know what's ironic? Is that when I played, the last show I played, 3 weeks ago, that exact thing, well, it wasn't as brutal as that, but I walked off stage halfway through. There was 2 sets, and I got outside, and these people said to me, "Oh, we met your dad," and I was like, "Well, really? That's impossible because my dad doesn't live in this country." Yeah. They're like, "Nah, he's over there," and they pointed at some guy. I said, "That's not my fucking dad," and this guy had been telling people that he was my dad.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's not as brutal as some, batshit crazy woman getting tasered and dragged out by the cops, but
that was still pretty crazy though. Like, who would say that? What were they getting at?
Maybe she just really loved you guys and wanted to feel connected.
Probably, yeah. But it was one of them bogan pubs and
okay. Was she missing teeth and everything?
Almost, yeah. It was pretty bad.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's one of them anyway. Fucking hell.
Well, dude, I want to thank you for coming in. I think we'll wrap it up on a high. Because there's so many other things we could talk about, but I'll get you in another point. Maybe
definitely.
When the next thing's happening with SD or something.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be cool, man. Get you back in, talk about more stuff. And I was going to ask you guys what's next. Oh, quickly, what are you guys working on? What's in the run?
Oh, we had so much planned for 2020. Just did our big show, 10-year anniversary show. We're ready to kick that off with the Crash Diet tour. But until then, we're meant to be releasing a new single, that sort of thing. So that's obviously coming up. We're going to be releasing new music this year.
Cool.
Yeah, and just fucking hibernate and write music until this shit blows over, I guess.
Make use of the time.
Yeah, make use of it and, keep doing what you're doing, man. This is great during this time of the world's need, the podcast and that. It's fucking great.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Just trying to do something that's not feeding into the fear and the negativity.
Yeah, 100%.
The bullshit that's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
And plus I said, a year and a bit ago, I'd love to have you on as the first guest because, I think that this is an important thing to put out to people right now. And
definitely.
You would have been a really good person to teach people not only about a lot of stuff, but also I knew the conversation would be great, which it has been.
Awesome.
And
that's great.
If you're interested, you want to hear any of their music, you want to buy some merch, support them or come out to shows, hit them up on Facebook /SistersDoll or www.sistersdollband.com. And also you can follow Bryce or Sisters Doll on Mr_Bryce_Land or Sisters Doll as the band account. Bryce, Lipz, Mileto, legend.
That's
absolute fucking legend. Thanks for coming in on the show, man. And
thanks so much for having me. It's been great.
Soon.
Killer, man.
Keep doing what you're doing.
You too, man. It's
awesome.
Good.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
Tommy O.